It's going down. Hold on. Fuck it. Dude, do you hear that? I think I gotta cut the live, dude. I'm not joking. Hold on. Babe. Tell my mom where we are. Dude. Holy shit. I thought that was hot. That's fucking freezing, bro. That's a solid fucking rock, fucking metal fucking thing. That's like scratched in there. That's weird. Literally warm.
I don't know if it's something coming or a natural disaster. You hear of something big coming down the pike. Have you heard of these claims? And if so, do you have any idea what it may be?
Yes, I've heard of them. Yes, I'm aware of them, and I'm not able to have that conversation.
To the extent you can talk about what might be imminent, what is imminent?
Time is not a luxury that we can afford. The time has come. We need to start having the conversation collectively. We should have had it a while ago, but we really need to start having a conversation.
You're building a bunker out there in Wyoming?
The rule to Fight Club is you never talk about Fight Club. Right? So if you're building a bunker, you don't tell people because then everybody knows where to go when everything goes south. So, it would be remiss of me to not say that. Yeah, I think people look.
¡Córrele! ¡Córrele! Sí, estoy bien. No manches. ¿Qué será? Mira. ¿No hay ningún vecino allá afuera? No manches. Eso no. No manches. Se ven brillantes. Pero no. Doña Male. ¡Doña Male! ¡Salga rápido! ¡Salga rápido! ¡Córrale! Hay unos ovnis acá arriba. ¡Córrele! ¡Verlo de su ventana! ¡Asómese por la ventana! ¡Ahí arriba! ¡Arriba!
We now have 5 videos of 5 separate boogospheres that have been filmed in this general area of Colombia, South America. And the question is, why are they suddenly being activated? I think it's an early warning signal because in 12,560 years ago was an era that ended the Ice Age, and some people think it might have been the Great Flood and things like this that are accounted in the Bible. But there was some cosmic event that happened that was a big Earth sort of geophysical event. And that is when they're dated from. And all of a sudden, while there's all this going on with the magnetic field over South America and the South Atlantic and Africa becoming unstable, these all being activated all at once is a bit of worrisome. 2 separate linguistic teams independently concluded it was a type of Proto-Sanskrit. And when they translated it, it was vaguely saying a warning of some cosmic event.
This clip is said to be a leaked recording from a whistleblower, supposedly filmed on August 10, 1993, in Norman, Oklahoma, showing two tall gray alien beings walking past a camera. It's never been verified or proven to be a hoax, but it most certainly seems fake. But it does raise one question. If figures like these showed up in your backyard, what would you do?
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso.
You talk a lot about space superiority. How much of that involves offensive weapons in space?
Well, I think we have to realize that every domain could potentially be kinetic. To put it in military speak, it could be offensive or defensive. That's not what we want to have to do, but you have to be prepared to defend and you have to be prepared to be proactive. So we're looking at all options in the domain of space. A lot of things, a lot of capabilities we won't talk about with cameras and microphones. But when I say dominance, it means we're going to maintain our eyes in the sky no matter what. And hopefully it doesn't come to that, but we're going to need to be able to protect our assets.
3 days ago, President Trump directed you to begin the process of identifying and releasing the UFO and UAP files. I mean, did you ever think that you would be the Secretary of War in charge of potentially declassifying extraterrestrial life to the American people and the world?
Did not have that on my bingo card at all.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Of course. I mean, we've got our people working on it right now. I don't want to oversell how much time it will take. Right? We're digging in. We're going to be in full compliance with that executive order, eager to provide that for the president. So there'll be more coming on that as far as the process of what we'll do.
And what sort of time frame? Do you have any sense for how long this is going to take?
I don't have a time frame for you yet, but stand by.
The Director of National Intelligence said today that her office was going to begin the process of declassifying reports on extraterrestrial and alien life. I'm going back to these types of questions because the American people have wanted to know the answer to these questions for a very long time. And so I'm just curious if you think that, one, if this is the beginning of disclosure for the American people and the world, and two, if the Pentagon is actually prepared to start declassifying some of these things that might really shed some answers on this instead of keeping it secret.
We'll work with the DNI as we always do. I'm heartened to hear that she's doing that. President Trump has been committed to disclosure on lots of levels, and he's made it clear that he wants answers on this. He's given us a responsibility to do it. We're going to be a part of delivering that. It'll be a deliberative process. We want to make sure expectations are going to be high, right? I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, so we're going to take a little time to make sure we assess what this should look like and deliver for the president, for the American people.
We have in Lockheed right now, there are craft that can go to Mars in a few hours. They have a lot of corporate facilities in California. And the whole floor of the warehouse is an elevator. And it drops, Lord knows how many hundreds of feet. And you're inside of basically a facility carved out of rock, deep underground. They are not only reverse engineering craft from retrieved debris in this facility, but they're actually training pilots to fly them. But the main problem that they have in that training program is that the pilots experience extreme disorientation because of the warping of space-time by these craft. In other words, they discovered early on, this is one of the main reasons this technology is being hidden, because they discovered very early on that these are not simply devices with propulsion systems capable of navigating space very quickly. Like they can take you from New York to Australia and, right? They're flying time machines They warp time as they traverse space.
Right.
And our pilots don't know how to handle that. They have a very hard time. They get disoriented, temporally disoriented. They get their sense of the passage of time gets really messed with. On a theoretical level, about how UFOs are actually time machines. And if you really stop and think through that carefully, you realize why, under the current socio-political conditions, this technology can't be released. With the kind of society we have, domestically, globally, with the state that humanity is in at the present time, the release of that kind of technology into the public sphere would be utterly catastrophic. Right? I mean, you can't give Tom, Dick, and Harry a time machine to put in their garage. You see, that's the thing. It's not like these are Jetsons cars that just, fly you across country really fast. They allow you to traverse different epochs in human history. One of the reasons that our history is so messed up, when you look at these really regressive, tyrannical religious belief systems and the kinds of political structures that formed around them and that were fortified by them, I think a lot of what's going on there is that our timeline has been manipulated. It's been manipulated at all junctures, from the present far into the future.
Phil Schneider said he was a structural engineer and explosives expert with high-level clearance. He was hired to help build deep underground military bases. These are massive facilities miles underground, connected by high-speed rail systems running through tunnels melted into solid rock. In 1979, while drilling near Dulce, New Mexico, his team broke into a natural cavern, and it wasn't empty. Inside were several 7 to 8 foot tall grays. Pale skin, large black eyes. He said they had a very strong ammonia odor. Sharp, chemical-like, overpowering. They didn't speak. The communication was telepathic. Just an instant awareness on both sides that something was wrong. One of the beings moved toward them, and Phil reacted. He pulled a Walther PPK and fired, killing 2 of them. Another gray raised his arm and released what he described as a blue energy beam. It hit him in the chest, burned him severely, and blew several of his fingers off.
I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal and they do die. One of them just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. Burnt my fingers right off of me. It was some form of electrical force, kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt. Burned all my toenails off of me. Crispy crittered my left foot. Burnt the shoe right off of me.
A Green Beret grabbed him and shoved him into a lift cage, sending him back up the shaft, while a firefight broke out below. 66 soldiers died. Only 3 survived. For years, Phil Schneider toured the country, showing his blown off fingers, showing his scars, displaying alien medals, and warning about a secret treaty between the government and non-human entities. In 1996, he was found dead. Official cause: suicide. Authorities said he wrapped a rubber medical catheter tube around his neck multiple times and tied it tight. But his family said no way it was a suicide because he had missing fingers and limited hand function, so he couldn't have been able to tie those knots himself.
I know that you have essentially written a speech for the president to deliver if he decides to do this. I want to quote just the first line. My fellow Americans and all citizens of Earth, it has come to our attention that extraterrestrial civilizations of great technological advancement have been visiting Earth for some time. Could you see President Trump being the first president to step to the podium and deliver a speech like that?
I do, and apparently his daughter-in-law believes so as well. And I think the reason for that is that there are so many pressures about this subject coming out in the next few months that delaying it much longer would not be proper. And I've advised in a briefing we did for the White House that they do not want to be behind the curve on this. They want to not have it come out through other countries or in some other way, asymmetrically, let's say, and they want to be ahead of this. So I think it looks like it is picking up steam. And of course, what actually gets decided by the president, I'm not privy to per se, not directly, but I do think this is coming on a fast track right now.
love to have China and Russia. They've been invited. Yeah.
Something that got a lot
You need both. You need all persuasions. No discrimination.
Something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals.
There's a theory that the world already ended, and it actually happens every Tuesday at 4:12 a.m.
Apparently, the world ends weekly at on Tuesdays about 4:12 a.m. So
And the creepy part, millions of people swear they felt it. It's called the Tuesday reset theory, and once you hear this, you'll start noticing it too. Every Tuesday morning at exactly 4:12 a.m., reality shuts down. Everything, time, consciousness, even physical laws, rewind just enough to keep the simulation stable. You don't feel it because you're not supposed to, but some people wake up early enough to catch the glitch. Like the guy who said he woke up at 4:10 and watched the moon jump a few inches to the left.
Oh my God.
Instantly. Or the woman who said her entire house made a low humming sound right before everything went silent. Like someone hit the mute button on the...
everyone knows Sandra's correct.
Birds go quiet, clocks freeze for exactly 1 second, and the air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. A stranger. Global data spikes on Tuesday mornings. Servers reboot, security cameras glitch, GPS systems drift by a few feet. Nobody has an explanation, but it always happens around 4. So pretty much the world ends every Tuesday, but the simulation reloads us into the closest stable version of reality.
Oh.
That's why things fell off lately. That's why people remember different details. That's why nothing feels the same as it did a few years ago. Because technically, we're not in the same world we started in.
The key is, you will pick numbers. You will shift to a reality where those are the winning numbers.
Basically what he's saying you focus, believe that you're going to get the winning numbers, and somehow your focus.
So what happens to your doppelganger in the world that you end up shifting yourself to with the winning numbers? They weren't. So it had to be a world in which your doppelganger in another world wasn't envisioning their numbers being the right numbers, or did they envision their numbers being the right numbers at the exact same time as you do in your world, so you guys just do a shift from one world to the other and you swap?